Say anything.
Say anything.
Anything. People just say anything. Say it.
Anything.
Say anything. With Kina B.
Hey, welcome to Say Anything with Kina B. I am Kina B. Thank you so much for joining me today. So a lot of things have been happening over the last few weeks that we should all get caught up on. We're not going to cover everything, but we're going to cover quite a few pop culture issues, politics, things like that. And then we are going to start to get into an interview with a local artist, Mr. Denzel Goldwire. So stick around for the interview with the artist. We're going to talk about art, his journey, traveling overseas, and DC Comics. Stick around. This is going to be a fun podcast.
Anytime is a good time to show a loved one how much you care. At WinBS Market, we specialize in local and global artwork. Find spectacular work by Zambian modern artist Ringo Bryant's Chilashay, Florida ceramist Gloria Nicholson, and naturalist painter Lily M. Clark. Alternative payment options are available on select artwork. Located at 23 North Madison Street, Quincy, Florida, in the historic downtown area. WinBS Market. Come for the culture, return for the connection.
This is about to be a very long year. That is the first thing that came to my mind when watching the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar, also known as KDOT. And there's like this a little bit of controversy that some people were saying that they're not entertained. I thought it was less about entertaining and more about performance art. The performance itself, to me, I was really listening to the words, and I was also listening to Samuel L. Jackson, what he was saying. I was looking at the scenery, looking at the visualization of it. And if you would just take out the whole song, you could actually eliminate the song that was with the beef with Drake. You could have eliminated that whole section and just paid attention to the rest of it, which was mainly his last album that he released. And there was a definite message in what he was performing, from utilizing red, white, and blue, the American flag, especially Samuel L. Jackson's words that he was saying. But also one line, particularly in the very beginning, stood out, where KDOT references Gil Scott-Heron's the revolution will not be televised, but he flipped it and said the revolution will be televised. Right time, wrong guy. That statement right there. And then going into all the other parts of the performance itself. I don't think it was meant to be entertainment, to be mimiking other types of concerts and entertainment functions. I think it was more like, the traditional rap, where you're trying to reflect a social message. And so therefore, if you're there just to be entertained, you're not going to get it and you're not going to be entertained. You're going to think that it was boring because it was not the whole spectacle that you were expecting. But if you're there because you appreciate, well, one, you like rap, but two, you like conscious rap, or thoughtful rap, or however you want to frame it, and you're actually listening to the words and to what Samuel L. Jackson brought as Uncle Sam, then you realize that, there's a whole message here, and I am both entertained and I am watching art. That to me was a visual art performance. And I hope that you all received the message. There are plenty of people online sharing their thought pieces as to what the messages were. And I found one in particular that I thought was very good. But I think the best thing about art is that people really look, examine, and come to their own conclusions as to what the real statement was. I don't think that the song "They're Not Like Us" has anything in particular to do with the entire message. Maybe the song could, if you just eliminate the parts about Drake. But it very well could if you eliminate the parts about Drake. I think the parts about Drake are not even necessary to carry the message through. It's a throwaway. I think that's the part that's titillating and causes controversy and causes gossip, because people want to focus on that element instead of looking at the overall picture. And the overall picture was much more of a thought-provoking concept than just that one song or just that one beef. And if people would take the time to really listen to the overall message, they would understand that it's bigger than that whole Drake beef. It's absolutely, the message that he was trying to relay is bigger than that Drake beef. And I even think Drake might understand that. But if you just want to focus on that, then yes, it's a really big insult. And what are you going to do? But that wasn't what pulled me. I think the rest of the performance pulled me. I was interested in the rest of the performance. So, was it a big, overall, spectacular performance? No, it wasn't. Was it one of the greatest of all times? No, it wasn't. It wasn't even in the top 10. It was not even in, I don't even know how many there have been. There's been at least 20, right? It's not even in the top 20 when it comes to entertainment performances. But when it comes to thought-provoking messages and relaying art, then it's in the top 10 because he's bringing a message. Tabitha Brown and Target. They were coming for my good sis. I don't know her. I've never met her. I know her the same way most people know her. Watching her on Instagram and Facebook and basically all the social media platforms, YouTube. She has several books. She has a Donna's Recipe, the hair, which I use. I use Donna's Recipe, and the hairline. And then she also has several other products, T-shirts, house goods, home goods at Target. And when the DEI thing came down from the president, Target was one of the companies that decided to opt out of the DEI program at their business for their company. And they carry a lot of Black-owned businesses within their stores. Okay, so Tabitha has a contract that does not end for another year, as she explained on her platform. And though she's disappointed in Target's decision, she still hopes that people will support her and other Black brands that are in Target, which caused a bit of controversy online. People were discussing whether or not to support Target at all. Amanda Seales, who is how does she describe herself? I think she calls herself the common sense specialist. That's what she calls herself. Or she uses comedy to talk about important issues. But anyway, she has a podcast. She used to be a radio host. She's an actress, all those things. She disagrees with Tabitha, saying that they should just boycott Target altogether in these contracts. And here's my concern with there are people who are like, stand 10 toes down and just in your contracts. Well, Tabitha is a married woman with kids, so she has responsibilities that others do not have. She has a full-on company with employees, so on and so forth. And we are not privy to the type of contract that she has with Target. We do not know the details of that contract, what she would lose if she were to suddenly pull out of a contract that she still has a year on, what she would have to give up, how it would impact her, how it would impact her family. And to tell someone to just pull out and just stop everything without considering all of the ramifications that it might have for her is just really, I think it's inconsiderate. It's inconsiderate overall, particularly if there's not a consensus among the community of whether or not they're actually going to boycott. Now, it would be one thing if there was a united consensus among the entire Black community that they were going to boycott Target as a whole, including withdrawing all the contracts, and that people would just, for lack of a better term, take their lashes, that they would just bear the consequence. Okay, that people would just bear the consequences of what it would be to withdraw their contracts. But because they know that the entirety of the community, has because they know that the entirety of the community is with them, like during the civil rights movement, where it was the mass majority, basically, not the entirety, but maybe the mass majority, though there was a whole movement. There's a reason why it was called a movement, because there was enough people involved that it was actually moving. We were moving towards something. It was a movement. We can't even agree as to whether or not people are going to boycott or whether or not they're going to go in and just support Black businesses within the store. We can't even agree to boycott Amazon. We can't even agree to boycott Walmart. The people are still supporting several businesses who have dropped DEI, or businesses that never had a DEI. Right? They're still, we can't even agree on that. But yet you want one person to sacrifice for their family as a show to other people that they are standing 10 toes down. Are you standing 10 toes down? Or are you still ordering that, click on that Amazon product and are going to Walmart every day for your groceries? Like, because when you say stand 10 toes down, that means everything. Like, that means that you're not going to the convenient store that's right down the street from you because it's convenient, but because they gave up the DEI program overall, but you're going to go 10 miles outside of your way and use up that extra gas because you're down to your last penny. That means you are going to inconvenience yourself, because all of these companies are so intertwined that you don't know where one ends and one begins, but yet you want one individual person to show how much they are dedicated when you are not dedicated at home to know where one begins and one ends so that you can actually boycott things. It's hypocritical. I think that's what it is, to expect certain people to stand where you cannot and would not stand. And then use the argument, well, they have more money. They have it right now. But if they start canceling contracts every which way, they may not have any tomorrow, and then you and them will both be broke. I just say, it may not be a popular opinion, but she can do more for us where she is than she could withdrawing that contract. Because we don't know what tomorrow will bring. We do not know what tomorrow will bring, or what a week from now will bring, or what a month from now will bring. But what we do know is that there's not a consensus. And until there is a consensus, a movement where everybody has decided, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to absolutely do this. And it's going to be an organized movement to support Black businesses, Black restaurants. We're not going to eat at all the other chains. We're going to support the Black businesses. Oh, we're only going to share our dollars within the communities and the businesses that are people of color or Black and brown, or specifically, those who support DEI, we're going to eat Ben and Jerry's ice cream only. We're going to support those stores that support us and support the overall mission of a community, whether or not they call it DEI or not, because there are some people who support it, and you can see by their culture they support it. They don't need to have a title to it. They don't actually have to say this is our DEI policy. You can see it. You can see that they have a culture of inclusivity, right? And therefore you support them. Well, if that is the case, and we have that movement, and we're all moving together, and it is an organized movement, that is when you can say, hey, why aren't you checking out, why aren't you canceling that contract? Because we got you. We got you on this platform, your direct platform. We got you over here. We got you over there. So you don't need that because we got you. That's, because people need to feel safe. People have to feel secure. People have to feel that somebody has their back. During the civil rights movement, people were giving each other rides. They didn't need the bus because people were giving each other rides. They were willing to walk, and they were walking in pairs. They had a buddy system. They weren't walking alone. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know you do. They had a system that helped one another. They were banking with their banks. Okay? They were using their money to help each other. They were feeding each other. So on and so forth. Right? But are we all collectively taking our money out of Wells Fargo and putting it into the black banks that are owned by black individuals? Are we all collectively going to remove our cash? Are you going to take your paychecks every month and go to a different bank? Because if you're not moving the money, then you're still a part of the problem, right? But me included, we're still a part of the problem. We're still feeding the system. We're feeding the system. So how can we complain about the actions of other individuals? Particularly if that individual understands why you move the way you do. Because not once did I hear her say, you have to do this, or did she berate anybody for not doing. As a matter of fact, when Ms. Brown was speaking, she said, if you feel like you can't support, I understand. She understood. So why are you hating on this woman? She's just doing the best she can for her family, just like you would do the best you could for yours.
It's an opinion.
We have today Mr. Goldwire. He was born and raised in Quincy, Florida. He earns his Bachelor of Arts from FAMU. He is the founder of Radiant Art by Diggy Paint and Vibe, and as a mobile paint and sip business. Mr. Goldwire has been an educator in Gadsden County for 6 years and has exhibited his artworks in FAMU Foster Tanner Art Gallery and 621 Gallery. And that is not all. He is also a DC comic fan. So, welcome with me, Mr. Denzel Goldwire.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I want to give one name. This is Radiant Art by Diggy.
Radiant Art by
Diggy. Yep.
Artist
name is Diggy G. I go by Diggy G. The nickname. Got it from FAMU. That's how I could tell whoever knows me, they either went to FAMU with me or they born and raised here in Quincy. So if I know you say, oh, Denzel, I know you from Quincy. Or but they say Diggy, okay, you know me from college. So that's how I can
Oh my goodness, you have one of those names. Okay.
Yeah, but it's all good though, yes.
Diggy G.
Mm-hmm.
Diggy G. So you all make sure you find them online on you're on all social media platforms?
Right now, just on Instagram. I feel like Instagram give me that more space to broaden my marketing as far as my artwork and stuff. It's on Facebook, but more my is striving towards Instagram because that's where I get a lot of the limelight and the spotlight from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's on Instagram. So go check him out on Instagram, and also pick him up for services for your next party. You know, he will be able to bring. What do you do during your painting service?
Can I start from the origin or like until
go ahead.
All right, so you know when it comes to art and everything, you could be a freelance artist and everything, but it's so many branches when it comes to the tree of art. And one day I decided to take that leap of faith, try to move to Atlanta, and I got an interview to do a paint and sip business. Okay. And basically their job interview is I have to sit here with a blank canvas and recreate an artwork that was already made. I mean, at first I was kind of skeptical because, like, man, you can't, as an artist, you can't remake a work. You know what I'm saying? You can't really remake it. You can do as much as you can copy it, but it won't be the same exact thing. It's how the artist views it and what they see. And everybody got their different visions. But it's a job, so I'm not finna even cap with it. So.
You think a little bit too deep.
Right. I'll think a little too deep. But I guess that's my denial, because at the end of the day, I ain't want to do this. I know what you need. Yeah. But I did it. It took me, I guess I had like I think I would have had like an hour or an hour some change to do it. Yeah. And I was taking my time trying to make sure to do it. I guess I was nervous at the time too. So I did it, and I didn't get a call back. Did get a call back for doing it, so I never got the job. And I kind of sat there and think about, man, you know what, man, I could do this on my own. You can. I can. And what made me get the idea was when I didn't get the job, they didn't tell me. My vision came when I left there. They was doing a paint and sip, but it wasn't like a vibe. And what I mean by that, and bringing their own wine bottles, they're bringing their own snacks, but they couldn't really interact with their drinks and food because they were too busy trying to figure out what the artist was saying. Exactly. And it was on the blank canvas. So that's why I changed my business to the saying paint and sip to a paint and vibe, because I want you to vibe. And that's what art is all about. People in this world love to do art. It doesn't matter who they are. They could be anything, but they love to do art. But what the first thing they do, they scared because they always think their stuff is ugly. Oh, I don't know how to do this and da. But they love to do it. So what I do is, instead of give you a blank canvas, I stencil it. It's like a coloring book. Let's go back to your childhood. Go back to your younger days, when you used to get that little blank coloring book page, and still the only thing you do is just coloring it. So it brings out that childhood person in you, because you want to do art so bad. So you give me the theme. You say, I want to do black girl magic. So I give you a theme of all black girl stencils, from a super black hero to a girl with a fist in hand, whatever you do. But that's the theme. Now you know what to do. And the only thing I tell you is vibe.
It's a vibe. Vibe. I love that, because that's what we try to create in the market, is that it's not a mimicking. Because if you're mimicking something, how are you connected with that? You take it home. Are you really going to put it on your wall? Or are you eventually going to throw it away? It's like, no, create something from you, not from mimicking something that you see on a screen. I love that. Yeah, I love that.
And the only thing I said, only thing I want to do is give you inspiration behind it.
That is a great segue into the main topic, which is you as an artist and your journey. Let's talk about that. Let's first talk about why art.
God always put signs right there, and I didn't realize it until I was at my lowest. Art always been around, my cousin, whom I call my sister, my older brother, he always tell the story that when he was babysitting me, I always get on his nerves, and he'll basically say, I need you to do something so you can get away from me. And basically he'll give me a piece of paper and some crayons, and he said one day, I said, cuz, what you want me to draw for you? And he just said, just draw me a house, whatever, just draw me a house. And he thought it was gonna be like a little triangle, a little square, whatever. But when I bring it back to him, I don't remember, but he tell me when I bring it back to him, he was like, yo, this is a house, like a house like this. It ain't take me until the realization of knowing art until I got in college, because I first started off as a pre-journalism. Like I always saw myself doing, radio, because my first real high school job, I was my grandmother brother is the owner of the Passion Skater Rink, which is in Quincy. He owned the legendary skating rink, and he used to let me and my cousin DJ there. My dream was, okay, go to FAMU and go to 90.5 Jams, because that's the radio for FAMU and stuff. But I didn't know the process of it, and that was my blind side. And unfortunately, life took me to the wrong where I ain't got kicked out. I ain't get dropped out. I got kicked out of FAMU. And I was at my lowest. And that was one thing about me in my life, is that I'm a late bloomer in every aspect of my life. Maturity, emotions, I'm a very late bloomer. And it just took me a while to realize that you're a dope artist. Other than my parents and my loved ones and everything, art raised me.
You mentioned in prior conversations that you traveled.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
I was naive at first. So I'm like, at first, I'm like, I get to travel. Origin, I never rode on a plane before. I never traveled outside the southern region. The farther I probably went was Tennessee at the time. So I never even flew hours before. So it's like, I get to travel around the world. Any country I pick, I get to travel there, go to school there, and whatever grades, if I get straight A's, they transfer it back like I've been here. What? And nobody? What? Like, this is, I had a journey through school now. I didn't hear this my freshman year. I didn't hear this during high school. I'm like, why
Nobody says anything about these programs.
Sign me up. The lady, she kept it simple. This is what you gonna do, what major in? I'm in fine arts. Okay. These are the programs that we got that equivalent to FAMU to fine arts. Italy. Yeah. I mean, you could have said anything, and I would have said, yeah. It could have been Italy, it could have been Japan, it could have been Thailand, it could have been Russia. I don't care. Let's go Italy. I've never been to Italy. I always learn about the country shaped like a boot. Boom, let's go. So so it was like, and she told me the process but then I got anxiety again. And my first anxiety was the journalism, when I thought this was gonna be sweet, but the journey was very difficult, bumpy. So she told me everything. She's like, you gotta get a passport, you gotta get a visa. This is how much it costs.
You got overwhelmed by the process.
Yeah, I'm like, man, y'all didn't say this at the forum. Y'all made it sounding good. Now I'm getting the fine prints.
Everything has a process, though.
Right.
I think that's what stunts a lot of young people, is the not having the understanding, or the built-in understanding that everything you're going to do is going to have a process, whether it be an application or forms or certifications, whatever it is, whether it's in or outside of school, there's going to be a process. And the first stop sign someone gets to, they feel like, oh, they just need to turn around and go back, instead of realizing it's just a stop sign. All it means is pause and pay attention. And then you can still proceed. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of young people should learn as early as possible, so that when they get to those stop signs in life, they don't give up.
No, you're right. And that was like one of my first lessons too. And I think, once again, thank God, I think he was just telling me, like, calm down, I got this, just trust the process. And like I say, so that stops, I'm like, oh man, I got to do all this and everything. Fortunately, this my first sign when I say, oh yeah, I got to do this regardless of what happened. The first time was, she said, got to get a passport. Never had a passport. I couldn't even tell you where to start to get a passport at that time. And fortunately, our former president of FAMU, I can't think of her name, but it's me saying her, y'all should know what I mean, because she's the only woman president. So she got in partnership with, I guess, FSU Study Abroad International, and they gave all undergraduates free passports.
Well, hello, that's a blessing.
Listen,
is that not a blessing?
Blessing, sign, call, whatever you want to call it. It was like, you're going to do this. You're
going to do this. Really, no excuses. That is your biggest hurdle.
Right. Like, first step, I got it for free. Only thing I do, go there, sign the papers, because you're an undergraduate. Because a lot of people it was flooded. Everybody in Mama at FAMU was going there, but someone couldn't do it because someone was grad students. They couldn't get it. It was for undergrads. It was only for undergrads. So the only thing I had to do was go in there, sign paper. Are you undergrad? Yes. Are these your credits? Yes. This your transcript? Yes. Okay, here's your passport.
And passport. And if nothing else, at least now you have a passport.
And I was like, my mom was like,
and it's good for 10 years.
Right. Matter of fact, I think mine's this year. I'm gonna renew it, yes. So it was that sign was like, you're going to go. And I never felt faith like that in my life. Like I'm still learning the exercise of having faith. I'm starting spring 2016. Oh, you couldn't tell my family nothing. We was happy, we was nervous, and shout out to my mom. She did everything in her books to get the money for me to go.
Amen to mothers.
Shout out to mom. Like if it wasn't for her, she was nervous, but she had a moment with me where she said, "You're going to do things that I couldn't do." Basically, when I got there, it was like, if you ever played a video game, you know, if you played an adventure game, you use that one character and you just started the journey and everything. That's how it was. I felt like I was in a video game. I'm one person. Right. So I'm starting this journey. There's nobody, no help. There's no co-op. There's no partner. I'm off the plane. All right, what you can do. And that journey really like made me who I am. Yeah. And it was great. And where I'm at a flea market. I'm at a flea market area. So
I bet that was really nice though.
Oh, it was beautiful.
To have a flea market right where you are, that's very convenient.
Not
too.
only a flea market, I had a fresh market.
Come on now.
Fresh food. Man, I can't wait to get to that part right there. So boom, got there. Where I stay at underneath is like those apartments or hotels that got like stores underneath and stuff like that. So I forgot what you call it.
So you had a duplex?
Yes.
So you had an apartment that was over a business?
Yes, like mini business, because in the flea markets they had like stores, restaurants, and everything. And you go through the doors, you go upstairs, there's apartments and everything. So met this guy, and my friends, I'm not finna, interact with you like that, be friendly, because I don't know who you are. You probably try to butter me up and then set me up, and that's my mind. I was defensive. So you're like, yo, what's your name? I said D. Ain't nobody called me D before, but I said D because you're not finna know me, don't be sir. But he was friendly. He was like, okay, you see, your room right here, we right here, If you need any help, I'll help you out, let you know everything. For those 4 months, he was my Google.
Were you able to work or no?
No
work visas. So it had to be personally funded.
Yes, I survived off my mom sending me money, also financial aid and everything. So and scholarships. I got a scholarship there too. Oh. So surviving off that, and basically you had to be a real adult. You had to, and my mind was that I promised myself that I'm going to do what I got to do, and I treated this experience as a competition. Like, don't get me wrong, we having fun in class, but I'm gonna be the best artist there out of all y'all. Like some of y'all, I found out that y'all came here because y'all parents got money, y'all could just go, and y'all wasn't really into this art stuff. They weren't serious about the art. They wasn't serious about it. They were just here to do it because it was just fun to do and everything. But I'm here to literally get the degree. I'm here to make sure that y'all know me. Like I'm coming here to actually be the best one ever. And I even got this is crazy to say. So I remember I had this class, and this lady she saw all my artworks, and when she observed it, she was like, you know what? You're good, but when you present, you give off this ego where it feel like you give off like you're a Kanye West type artist.
So what's wrong with that?
And I never said that. I'm like, I was proud. I'm like, yeah. Right now, he got his little situation, but around that time, he still is. He's a legend at what he do, and he was bragging about it because it was that good.
He has his issues,
yes.
Kanye. But the one thing that I always, because I'm not necessarily a fan of his music. His earlier work, yes, not his later work.
Same here.
And still not a fan. I'm not a fan of much.
I get you.
But I have an appreciation for how his mother instilled confidence in him. I have an appreciation that anytime someone tries to humble him, that he stays on his path, because I think a lot of people in the Black community could use a lot of that. Like, there is a thing about not being cocky or overconfident, right? So they say, but I don't see his personality as a person who's overconfident. I see it more as, I'm not going to allow you, another individual who is no better than me, to tell me what it is I can and cannot do.
Right.
I don't care if you have $1 billion and I have negative $1 billion. I can still make it as long as I'm continuing, because the moment you diminish me, that's the word I was looking for. The moment I buy into your diminishing me, I've lost.
Right.
And now I no longer want to strive or try as hard or anything. And I think that happens within the Black community a lot, particularly to our children and lower levels of school, that someone is out there telling them what they cannot do.
Right.
Even if they're not outright saying it, they're doing it subliminally.
Right.
Microaggressions, things like that. And so then they come in not thinking they can do things, and then we as parents have to be like, no, you can't.
Right.
We also have to check ourselves as parents.
Right.
Not to diminish our children.
No, facts.
I tell my son all the time, it's like I'm only human, and I'm doing this I'm learning to parent at the same time you are growing. So remember these words, and I say this to him all the time. Never let anybody tell you what you cannot do, including me. It's like, don't be disrespectful, but remember not to let me know you can't tell me what I cannot do.
Facts.
So that, because even we need reminders.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people will come from their PTSD, from their trauma, from what they've been taught. And we as mothers in particularly, want to really safeguard our children. We want them to be as safe as possible. But safety does not lead to growth.
That's what I heard from my mom too. And she was just basically like, when I was going over there, just like, hey, do you just, be who you are and express yourself, because this is an opportunity to do it. It is. And so when the teacher said that, I took it as a compliment. I'm like, absolutely. I said, hey, yeah, this is what I want you to see. This is what I want you to do. I mean, even I had another experience where we was presenting our works, and once again, on the black guy in the classroom, on the black person in the classroom, and everybody presented where everybody they take their criticism after this. So a lot of people, when they present their work, they be like, oh, that's nice. Oh, I like what you did there. That's cool. I remember this artwork I did. So it was around. It was in February, Black History Month, of course, and I forgot what was the work. The objective was to recreate a work you heard through a music or something, a mindset or something like that. So I decided to recreate a lyric from Tupac, Thug Mansion, when he said, basically, paraphrasing, when he basically said, "Mama, doing all right. I'm in heaven, the mansion. Listen to Marvin Gaye, Billie Holiday, sitting next to Michael Metz, and Martin Luther King and all that." So I did a Photoshop of this old time bar stage club, like a. You said it was a Photoshop. Okay. And they in this Sugar Shack type club where I had Billie Holiday, a picture of Billie Holiday and Marvin Gaye on stage. I had Tupac in the middle with a cigar with Bob Marley and Michael Metz sitting down laughing. I had make it look like what he said. Right. And I think I had myself sitting somewhere. Okay. I had myself put myself. Yes. I'm glad you said that. To keep that. Remember you said put myself. So I had one. Well, why wouldn't you be in there? You foreshadowing. So while everybody critique say it's good, I had one student to say what you said. Every time, I just want to figure out why you always put yourself in your artwork, because this is not the first time you've done it. Every time you do artwork, you put yourself into it. So I'm trying to figure out, you always put yourself in the center, like you want to be the center of attention. And yeah. And I basically told her, I said, well, basically I'm doing this because I'm an artist, because I'm introducing and I'm opening my culture to y'all. You gotta understand where I'm at. I was being real. I told, like I said, my teacher, can I say that? He said, sure, you got the floor. I'm the only black person here, y'all. And I'm not trying to be the token black guy or anything like, oh yeah, I'm black power. I'm not trying to be that, but I'm introducing my culture to y'all. Y'all up north, I'm from the south. Y'all don't know what I've been through. You never been to HBCU. You never had a black culture around. You've been around black people, but you never been around my culture and stuff. And basically, I'm just giving y'all an invite to my world. So I'm putting myself in it because I've been through it. This is my experience. I know how to go through this. I know what to do in this particular environment. And I told her, I'm not trying to be arrogant. No, I'm really trying to be, the the person to see like, hey, this is me where I go through this comfort zone. Like, this is nothing I've never been through. So yes, I'm gonna put myself in it because this is what I go through. This is my everyday life. This is something you just see in movies. And you know, she was cool with it. She had a good attitude and everything. But I was happy. I was happy that she said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good observation to have, you know.
It's a great observation because you know what? Every art you're not gonna like. As a true artist, a lot of people ain't gonna like your art. I don't know who said it, but it's three people in this world when it comes to your artistry. People go like it, people that that not gonna like it, and people gonna be on the fence about it. I want to be more than an artist. I want to be a symbol.
A symbol.
Like you gonna know me without me saying anything.
Right.
You gonna know me without me being in your presence.
The moment that you see it, even if they couldn't see your name anywhere on it or the symbol that represents your art, Diggy G, they would know, oh, that looks like Diggy G.
And I wanted to be that. And I want to be comforting to you and everything, or controversial. Doesn't matter. You know, you go talk about it. You go have energy behind it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I want you to have that adrenaline.
I am interested to know the true perspective of those who have studied art, of people who are artists who have never gone to school for art. I pose that question to you. Is there a divide in the art community amongst those who have had a formal education versus those who have had to just kind of teach themselves?
I feel like, yeah, but it's nothing, you know, compatible. And what I mean by that, I mean like people that does art, they just do it off the expression themselves. They just do it off just the talent that they have, and just, you know, do it just from the heart and the soul. Don't get me wrong, the people that go to school for it got the heart and soul too. They just know the techniques behind it. They know how to talk about it. They know how to understand the science behind it.
Color theory.
The color theory, the
shading,
the value, and even the three things that I learned. I'm tripping right now, but like the content, the making, the form, and I'm saying that wrong. But what I mean by that, I mean like what the artist made of, how the artist made of, and the key thing, why the artist made.
Why?
And basically, when you have a person that just, you know, that you could tell the difference. And this way it comes. You could tell the difference between two people when they present their artwork. When a person that went to school, they tell you the science behind it. Like I did this because of the lines and the structure of it, and the point of view of how to keep the eyes to go from here to down there, to do a roll mount and stuff like that. They know how to do that. But people that's freelance, they just learn. They just come from an expression of heart. They come from the soul. They just speak it because they're the voice of their artwork and stuff. So, and I feel like I got the best of both worlds.
Thank you for joining us today for Say Anything, part 1 of our interview with Denzel Goldwire. We will continue with part 2 next week, along with more pop culture discussion. Do not miss out. He has more to say, so come back next week. And as always, like, subscribe, share, give me some feedback. I appreciate you. Say that thing that you need to say and choose